I don't want to be responsible for people losing their colonies during winter. And I have 400 subscribers. So there's a lot of responsibility in that. And I also don't want to lose any colonies that I've created this summer. Here it is, almost the end of August. Got one more week to go. And yeah, I'm using smoke because it's hot and kind of humid. Yeah, I'd say it is humid right now. And the weather has a big factor on the mood of the bees. I opened this up and I waited a minute and they're still aggressive, so I decided to go ahead. I don't really necessarily have to smoke them all the time now. I just have this in the area. And I've got bees in another location. In about a week or so, I'm going to be pulling a deep and a medium off. I'm pulling bees back to this area. And I'm making notes as to the size of these colonies. All of them need honey, but I'm just making notes as to the size where the bees are. And the only reason these bees have any honey at all is because a couple of weeks ago I pulled off honey from my other bees in the other location, my large colonies. And this right here, I stick tape on my deeps, and I can tell just by looking at this. I've inspected at 7:12, 7:30, so I know this is an early July colony. And they haven't made any gains in August, and bees don't normally make gains in August. They lose because they have more bees than they actually have honey. And it depends on the weather, how many rainy days you have, and how dry it's been during the summer, how much nectar is available. But I already know by looking at my colonies, I need to start feeding them next month. As soon as I add more bees to these colonies and get their strength up so I don't have to worry about robbers, I'm going to be putting syrup on, and I'm going to feed them through September and October, and hopefully get them large enough. They won't be able to winter outside during December, January, and February, but I can get them through November, and then I'll probably have to move them in during the very, very cold periods of winter. But I don't want to have too many that I have to move, because I wouldn't be able to move them all. It could be very a negative effect this winter if I don't have my colonies ready. And then those colonies that are large enough that if I add more bees and feed them, I can put them underneath the roof there and get them through winter. So I'm assessing which ones could get more bees and syrup and make it through winter without having to move them in and out. And then I have my 2018 colonies that I'm going to, in a couple weeks, I'm going to pull the queens out with some frames of brood, and I'm going to put them in the top of my windows. They'll be in the very top so I can check them on a regular basis, because it will be the third winter, and there's a good chance I'm going to lose them, the queens, not the colonies, the queens, because they're old, and I want to know that right away so that I can combine those bees with other colonies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the queens from my old colonies, and I'm going to put in some new queens that I created this summer, and add some more bees to get them strengthened before winter so that they can be outside. So there's a lot of things that need to be done before winter. I lay awake at night figuring out what to do the next day, how to best handle this, because unlike the beekeepers that take their bees south, they can feed them before they put them on the truck. They take them south and then they feed them again. Us beekeepers in the north, we have to feed them in a short period of time during fall before winter, because you can't feed them during winter. It's too cold. They can't dry make the honey, evaporate the water in the syrup that you feed them. It's just too cold. So you have to careful planning. And I have more colonies than I've ever had before. I have over 100, so every year it gets more and more thinking and planning that I have to do. Okay, thank you.